So, ladies and gentlemen, we are also here for a very, very special day, and I'll ask my friend Howard to come up and introduce all of our guests.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to say we are so deeply appreciative of the city's hospitality, and just to acknowledge Luciana Sprague and the archives for their wonderful display downstairs. I would like to just begin by saying two names that might help us understand why we are here today. One of those is Patrick Kehoe, and the other is Patrick Rossiter. These two men were among the hundreds and hundreds of people who emigrated from the county of Wexford in southeast Ireland to the city of Savannah in the 1850s. And Savannah, the hostess city, welcomed the Irish and particularly the people from Wexford. And in the audience today are the great grandsons of those two men I mentioned. Over here, Dr. John Jack Jogstetter and Dr. Francis Patrick Rossiter, and also Pat Rossiter, the namesake of the original emigrants. So. I think that tells the story, right? So we're so thrilled that the city is recognizing this very special relationship between County Wexford and the city of Savannah. We have Team Ireland here today. We are delighted to welcome the Minister of Justice for Ireland, Helen McEntee. Minister, if you would like to stand up just so we can acknowledge you, and thank you. It's really an honor to have you, and we're so thrilled. Welcome to Savannah. We also would like to welcome the Consul General of Ireland to the southeastern United States, very recently in her job, but knocking it out of the park, I feel. Cuiva Ní Chonchúr. Cuiva, if you'd like to stand up as well. All of us in Savannah have been practicing how to say your name. So we've had a few sessions, and I hope we're going to do it good, but you can correct us. We also have the Deputy Consul General of Ireland with us, Emer Nolan, as part of the consular team. So we've got a full bench here. From the county of Wexford, we have senior representatives, and you'll get to hear from Barbara Ann Murphy. She is the Cathaoirleach, or chair of Wexford County Council. Cathaoirleach, if you would just stand so we can acknowledge you also. And then we have elected representatives of County Wexford. For some, this is a return visit to Savannah. For others, it's a first, but we'd like to formally welcome in this venue today Michael Sheehan, George Lawler, Ger Carthy, and Gary Laffan. Gary is the mayor of the town of Wexford, and we have these wonderful chains of office which have deep history, and they would love to talk to you about it. Just very quickly, I'd like to acknowledge that we are honored to have here the Bishop Emeritus of Savannah, the Most Reverend J. Kevin Boland. Bishop Boland. I would like to be very remiss in talking about Wexford not to honor the memory of a man who was born in Tipperary, but who went to school in St. Peter's College in Wexford town, and then went to seminary, and ultimately was honored by the Pope with the rank of Monsignor. I'd like us just to pause for just a brief moment, if we may, and bow our heads in the memory of Willie Oliver O'Neill, Monsignor O'Neill. May he rest in peace. Thank you all. Thank you all. A great friend of Savannah over many years, and we miss him very much. I'd like to just quickly acknowledge also the General Chairman and the Parade Committee. You guys have been so supportive of everything we've tried to do here, and helping us with honoring our guests in an appropriate way. So thank you, John, and the Parade Committee. I'd like to welcome also some friends of ours. One of the major outcomes of what we've been doing in rekindling the relationship between Wexford and Savannah is in the economic front. And we're really powering forward with economic development. And all of these folks from the Council are in the lead on that, along with our friends from the Wexford Enterprise Centre. So I'd like to acknowledge the CEO of Wexford Enterprise Centre and the chair. That's Brendan Ennis and Eamon Murphy. If you gentlemen would just wave at us so we can acknowledge you also. And of course, economic development is a transatlantic partnership, so we need some very strong people here in Savannah, and we've got them in the form of the World Trade Center Savannah. I'd like to acknowledge Lee Ryan and Jesse Jenkins, who are the tip of the spear on that. Thank you so much. And I'm sure I'm going to leave out some people, but I would like to also just acknowledge the amazing friendship that we have in Savannah going back a long time from Service Prison na hÉireann, the Irish Prison Service, and Garda Síochána na hÉireann, the Irish National Police Force. If you ladies and gentlemen would just stand for a moment so we can show Savannah strong. We're honored by the Guard of Honor. And then finally, I'd like to just acknowledge my colleagues from Georgia Southern University. I think what is pretty unique about this relationship is that we have political, economic, and educational. Georgia Southern University has made a pretty remarkable commitment to internationalization through the creation of the first public university in the United States to have a brick and mortar facility in Ireland. That's pretty remarkable. All the other universities are private universities with much deeper pockets, but we have reached in and we are leaning in and we are making it happen to give extraordinary opportunities to the young people of Chatham County, Bullock County, all of the state of Georgia. And I'd like to acknowledge Trip Addison, who is our Vice President for University Advancement, without whom none of this would have happened. So Trip, thank you so much. And then we have our Greater Savannah folks who have been helping me to create today. So I'd like to just acknowledge those folks from the Greater Savannah organization in the international space. We've got Jim Anderson and Kristen Carmen. So the two of you guys need to stand up as well. So that is it for me, except to just say how profoundly grateful we are for today. I think today is just an acknowledgement of years of work, the building up of friendship and trust. It's very easy to sign a piece of paper just for the sake of it. But the papers that are going to be signed today represent really going back to 2014 when we started this project. Our Georgia Southern students made these amazing discoveries about the relationship between Wexford and Savannah, a kind of story that was hidden in plain sight. But it is remarkable that Savannah, Georgia, and Wexford have this relationship. In all of Ireland, there was only one place from which you could get on a boat and sail directly to Savannah, Georgia. Those boats took 40 to 50 days to go across the Atlantic. They were little three-masted, what they were called barks. And so people sailed out of all of the county of Wexford, from the port of New Ross and the port of Wexford. And so I feel in a way our ancestors are with us today. Frank and Jack and Pat, your ancestors are with us today, because I think they would be proud that we haven't forgotten that Wexford relationship and we're building it from the past into the future. So thank you all for coming, and I'll hand it back to Mayor Johnson. Thank you, sir.
Accorda. Consul. This is a great day to be here in Savannah. I am so pleased to see you all after 2 years to be back, to be here meeting everybody, to have a parade, my little hometown of Bunclody in County Wexford. I organise the parade there every year. I'm getting texts and phone calls non-stop. What time is the parade? Where do we go? When will there be green ice cream? You know, all the really important things that we have. But I have to say one thing is really important for us. In Ireland, we have St. Patrick's Day. In Savannah, you have St. Patrick's Month or 6 weeks. We are really envious. So, you know, you stole the show. Mayor Johnson, Minister McEntee, ladies and gentlemen, it's so good to be here. And as Howard mentioned, we are following in the footsteps of our forefathers, the Kyo's, the Rossiters, the Whelans, or the Whalans, as you say over here, the Cashes, and so many others who left County Wexford and made Savannah their home over the past nearly 200 years. We can see downstairs in the archive William Kyo and the story of his ironworks and the difference that that has made here in the city of Savannah. And he left the quay in Wexford. They were from Mount Howard near Munnamalin. If he was still at home today, he'd be what we'd call an alley man. A buffer's alley man would be his club that he would follow, his sport. And he left age 11 and came here and made a life here. And then I just mentioned Michael Cash because, as Howard told me, he built the wall on the bluff that protects this city and makes sure that it doesn't collapse in. So Michael Cash was from Blackwater in County Wexford, so it's important to remember that. And I've talked to Frank and Patrick Rossiter, who have told me about their great, was it, grandfather? Patrick, one great. We'll get it right next time. But those people made their contribution to the fabric of life in Savannah, in economic, social, educational, and community institutions, and they played a very key role in this city's development. When I told my local parish priest at home that I was coming here to represent Wexford County Council, he said, please mention Father Billy Oliver O'Neill. He was in my class in St. Peter's College, right throughout secondary school, and throughout, before he was ordained to be a priest. And Canon Seamus Duval, who's going to be 95 next week, he said, oh, absolutely, I thought Billy Oliver, make sure you mention that we remember him, and we know the contribution he made, and we know how highly thought he was of here in Savannah. As a proud Wexford woman and first citizen of County Wexford, it's probably easier to explain it that way than Cathaoirleach. And standing here with my fellow councillors, the elected representatives of local government in Wexford, I am so pleased that we are going to sign this document to join Wexford County Council and the City of Savannah as partner communities. And this, I'm certain, will help us as we deepen the relationship and forge new partnerships into the future. Initiatives we have achieved to date in no small way, due in part in no small way to important people in this room like Howard, who puts his absolute life and soul into what he does, such as the development of Georgia Southern University's 4th campus in Wexford Town. And we look forward to their multi-million-dollar investment in GSU in the development of student accommodation in the former Adoration Convent in Wexford Town. And that's about to go to be signed at our council meeting on the 28th of March. So you'll be glad to know that we are working very hard on that. We're also, as Howard mentioned, growing links, increasing trade and creating jobs through the Trade Bridge programme. And that's a partnership that was started by Wexford Enterprise Centre and CEDA, but is now regionally operational in the southeast of Ireland and is going to make such a difference economically to the links that we have between Wexford and Savannah. Mayor Johnson, I want to sincerely thank you for the warm welcome and hospitality that we are enjoying since Monday night here in Savannah. We're enjoying St. Patrick's Day week, as we're calling it now, in your beautiful city. And we're delighted to be joined by Minister McEntee, who made history as being our first minister who actually managed to take maternity leave. I'm really very proud of you, Minister. Well done. You took a stand for all of us. I'm one of 6 women members of Wexford County Council. There are 34 of us. That means 17%. It's not enough. I'm the 3rd woman to be Cathaoirleach of Wexford County Council. That's 3 women in more than 121 years. We need to start breaking through those glass ceilings, as I'm sure you'll agree, Minister. And it's so good that we also have Criva and Emer here, because they are strong women also taking the stand, and you're up from our consulate, and it's so important that we see that. And thank you so much for joining us here today. This is an auspicious occasion, and it only leaves me to say happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. Bannock Tina Phil Pádraig Gurmil Mahogriv.
Thank you so much. And we just talked about Women's History Month, and certainly, Minister, we're so glad to have you here, and congratulations on making history. We also have, in honor of Women's History Month, a U.S. Fleet Forces Command in Norfolk. They have assembled a team of 7 all-star, everybody say all-star female sailors. They have been here and they're engaging with our local community, and I want them to please stand. We're so glad to have them here. So this delegation includes America's finest daughters, mothers, wives, and ladies serving on the newest aircraft carrier ships and performing a variety of services in our Navy. And so we're extremely proud of them, and you don't want to mess with these women. So thank you all so much. So I assume we'll commence with the signing at this point.
Will we start together?
We'll start together.
And today is the 16th.
What's today's date? I'm joking.
Because you do it the other way around?
That's right.
I wrote it both ways.
Okay.
Thank you. Real honor. Really important.
You want this one?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, can I give you a Wexford pen?
You sure can. Thank you.
When you use it?
Thank you.
I have other little gifts for you. Will I give you your other gift now?
Yes. Well, it's up, yeah.
Do you want Minister to talk
Yeah,
first?
we'll Minister talk.
Yeah, you talk first.
So I am also proud to announce that I will be, oh, wow, okay. Carrie Sanders. Okay. I'll be flying out to Wexford today. What time we're leaving? Any minute, and we're looking forward to the day that we will have direct flights from Savannah to Wexford. We believe that. It's going to happen. Minister, would you like to say some words?
Thank you very much. Mayor Johnson, Cathaoirleach Murphy, to all of our members of Wexford County Council, Lord Mayor, to our members of An Garda Síochána, the Irish Prison Service, to our all-star ladies as well, to our Consulate General, Cueva, to our honorary guests as well, our descendants, and to everybody here in the office and to the people of Savannah. It's such a pleasure to join you this afternoon. We are literally hot off the plane, and I have to say I don't think you would get as good a welcome in Dublin Airport as we just received coming into Savannah Airport, but it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I have to say it's so good to be travelling again. It's so good to be able to meet people in person again, but in particular to get back to doing what we love to do best, and that is to build friendships and to strengthen the friendships that we have. And so I couldn't think of a better way to start my Savannah trip than joining each and every one of you here as you cement this wonderful relationship that already exists. So many of my colleagues, we are travelling across the world this year, not in celebration, I would say, but in solidarity very much with our friends in Ukraine. And I think the past few weeks, if they've taught us anything, it's how important our transatlantic relationships are and the depth and breadth of those transatlantic relationships. And what's been so important is that we have responded to this illegal and immoral and unprovoked war, and it really has made sure that Ireland, with the EU and the US, we have responded collectively and we have shown our support for Ukraine, and we need to continue to support Ukraine. As Minister for Justice, I've been very honoured to be able to welcome citizens from Ukraine to Ireland, but when we see what is happening and when we hear the story today of how this relationship blossomed, we think back to over 200 years ago, and this relationship started with the welcome, open arms of the people here in Savannah to the people of Wexford who were essentially fleeing hardship, fleeing hunger, fleeing starvation at home. And since then, those Irish people have become part of this community. They've helped build and develop this community. And I really think that obviously, even though it was over 200 years ago, those friendships and those bonds and those ties are as strong, if not stronger, than they were then. And we see not just the economic development that is happening, the educational development, but that cultural development and the people-to-people contact, which is so, so important. We see through the work of SEDA, through Georgia Southern, Visit Savannah, and many, many others, how this is continuing to happen. I want to thank you, Lord Mayor, for the impetus and the energy at which you have brought to this relationship, and I want to obviously pay tribute to our members from Wexford here as well, to our Cathaoirleach and Lord Mayor, and of course the people of Wexford, who I think really embrace this and certainly will be delighted to welcome you, whether it's today or maybe in a few weeks' time. I'm sure that your own town mightn't like to miss you now for the next few days, but you have all been a driving force for this relationship, and it really, really is wonderful. And as I've said, I know the people of Wexford will be delighted to welcome you, but also the students as well who will be travelling here and travelling to Ireland in the coming weeks and months. Our team, the Consulate, as you've mentioned, Cueva's here just a few weeks. Her Emer and the two other girls were a team of girls actually in the Consulate. They will be absolutely delighted, and I know they will build on that relationship and hope to strengthen it in as many ways as possible. I'll finish on this one note. I mentioned that obviously all of the economic and the educational and all the development ties are so important, but it's the people-to-people ties, and I think in Ireland we're very good at finding those connections. We've just come from Atlanta, and in a day I met with the chair of the Chamber of Commerce, Siobhan Tansey is her name, and she was able to tell me that her grandmother's sister was married to my granddad's cousin's father. So I'm here for 2 days. If anybody wants to find some connection, maybe, it would be wonderful. But, you know, that's what this is about. It's about finding friends, making new friends, and perhaps finding some long-distance family members as well. But it's a pleasure to join you. I wish you well. I congratulate you on what you have achieved and what you will achieve, I have no doubt, into the future. Thank you.
I just have a small gift for. I have a small gift from Wexford. It's a handcrafted bowl. It's actually a good Waterford name, I have to say, but sorry, it's O'Connor. I have the different box, but you'll be pleased to know it's O'Connor, which is a good Wexford name. Robert O'Connor wood turning, and I have a bowl here to give the mayor. I have given him a Wexford pen, because he's going to be using it to sign a lot more. And I'm going to give him a Wexford pin because I see he has an array of Wexford. He has an array of pins, yes. And I want to add to your pins with a Wexford pin.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. And we have to offer to you. We call ourselves a city of hospitality. We're a hosted city of the South. And certainly, we don't welcome strangers, we welcome friends. And so we're excited about this partnership for what it means. We're excited because I'm a Georgia Southern alum as well. Yes, I am. I'm an Eagle as well. And so this is the key to our city that I want to present to you.
Oh, thank you.
And I want to present to the minister. I think we're cousins as well. We'll figure it out before I leave here. To our new Consul General. Thank you so much. And Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much. And so as we conclude, and I wanted to conclude with the same remarks that the minister made. We have certainly recognized over the last 2 years how close we are. This pandemic has made us closer. And we recognize, although we might be miles away, spiritually, we are all connected. And certainly over the last couple of weeks with our friends in Ukraine, we also know what bullies look like. And the good people of the world have to unite against the bad people of the world. And so in my return from Washington this week, from hearing from the vice president, the president, second gentleman on yesterday, we are united that we are going to stand up against bullies. And we need all of the good people in the world to do the same. And so my friends of Ireland, I'm glad to know that you all are also committed to that fight, because today is them and tomorrow it could be somebody else. And so I have been so inspired by what I've seen from the Ukrainian people, and we have Ukrainian folks that live here in Savannah, and we're committed to doing all we can to be able to support them and support our country in the efforts against this tyrant that simply does not need to be living along among civilized people. And so please keep them in your thoughts and your prayers, and certainly encourage the folks that are in leadership in your countries to continue supporting the people of not only Ukraine, but all oppressed people across our world. So may God bless Ireland. May God bless the United States. May God bless Wexford, and may God bless Savannah. Thank you all so much.